Skip Miller, welcome to the Modern Sales Management Show.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Congratulations on the publication of Outbounding.
Yes. I hate writing books because I know it means getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock to start writing. But every time I see a problem that sales and sales managers need help with, or isn't really being addressed, it's time to get on the computer. So it's a labor of love, and I'm glad it's out.
Well, I want to talk about that in just a second. But first, give our audience some background on how you first got involved in sales and sales management.
Sure. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. So in college, used to sell sporting goods, and for a small sporting goods store, and all the big sporting goods stores all had all the high schools and the colleges. So we made a niche. I would go, to the small junior highs or small high schools, and they needed football equipment and basketball uniforms and stuff. So made my little niche doing that part time while I was going to school, and then right out of college was a salesperson selling computer time sharing, computer aided manufacturing systems and stuff. Became a salesperson, sales manager, manager of managers, and every stop in the sales world, I was really good, and then I wasn't good because I would think I was really good. As a sales manager, I was really good, and then I thought I was really good, so I was terrible. So I think a good manager's got to go through that success slump and work your way out of it to get pretty experienced. And did that, then was a VP of sales for a couple companies. The last one was a company called DataQuest, market research for high technology. We got bought by Gartner Group, and then I started my own stuff. So sales management, that's what I've been doing for the past 30, 40 years.
Teams of all different types and sizes, it sounds like.
Yeah, a 3-person, 3-4 salespeople. I used to sell computer trade shows, mini trade shows, to a couple of hundred at DataQuest and stuff, and everywhere in between. Yep.
So if you had some advice for yourself 30 years ago, what would you tell yourself to kind of accelerate your journey?
Yeses are great. Nos are great. Maybes will kill you. So every time you look at a forecast, right, you have to believe that you got 30, 40% snow in there. And as I would get my sales forecast, I'd start drilling into them, and I'd be very reactive. I'd be like, okay, why would this close? What's going on? And I used to live a lot that way, very reactive, looking at trailing indicators. So if I could give myself some advice from 30 years ago, it's, you got to make sure your salespeople are doing the basics. Are they qualifying? Are they prospecting? Are they calling high? And everyone's got an excuse for why the basics don't get done. Well, this is a unusual deal. This person here is the decision maker, and you know better. So if I had to give myself advice 30 years ago, is to just constantly remind yourself to get rid of the maybes in the funnel, because those are the ones that all of a sudden sneak up on you, and they slip, and then they go dark, and then you miss your number, but it's coming in next month and they don't, and it just is a vicious circle.
So this is the book.
Look at you.
Right. It is an outstanding book. I don't know if it's going to be reading the right way on this recording when we do record it, but I'm 2/3 the way through it. It is awesome. So my question for you is, you've had a lot of success. Why write a book? Why this book, and why now?
I actually wrote it before COVID, and it all of a sudden now it fits like a kid glove. But the HubSpot folks and who I know, we're looking at doing a whole bunch of marketing stuff, direct marketing, digital marketing. The whole term got invented, and all of a sudden a salesperson's job was now to follow up on inbound leads. And I mean, that's like low hanging fruit. Let's go. And that worked really well. But now, I mean, you see the technology curve. Most of the inbound leads are from lower level folks, tire kicking. Rarely is it a C-suite. So a good salesperson now, quotas are going up. I mean, it's always fun, right? There's 3 sure things in life when you're in sales: death, taxes, and your quotas going up. But as the quotas go up, right, you're going to have to augment your quota, because all the inbounds aren't going to cover that increase in quotas. So I was talking to some sales folks and I'd say, how's the year look? Good. I think I got 80%. Well, what are you going to do with the other 20? Yeah, I'm going to have to outbound. Oh, okay. How's that going? I wrote an email to somebody last week. I'm still waiting to hear back. You're like, there's no, so this is where managers have got to become more proactive and say, listen, my guess in 2021 is that 10, 15, 20% of our funnel has got to, we have to go pick our own fruit. We have to go, plant our own grain. And people do it terribly. I mean, it's just show up, throw up, spray and pray. And now that you can't go to people's offices or you can't go to trade shows or you can't, you're very limited in the tools, and only the strong are going to survive. So the people who have great sequencing, great messaging, great cadences, who really, and that's going to be up to a manager. A manager has got to put that discipline in for his or her team. And I just saw a big void. And it's not just here in San Jose and Silicon Valley. We've got customers in the HVAC world, in the machine world, in the services world. It's going across the board. So I'm like, okay, time to write another book. And my publisher loves it because they love when I write books. I hate it because it's a bunch of 4:30 in the mornings. But that was the problem I saw, and we got to fix it. And salespeople, it's almost like, I promise I'll do this, New Year's, I'll go to the gym, and, a month later, they're not at the gym anymore. It's got to be a manager's discipline.
So for most sales, you'll find great outbound salespeople, but on a whole, you said people are not very good at it. Have they always not been very good at it, or has something happened with this inbound marketing revolution over the past 10 years where people are out of practice with outbound selling?
Josh, I think it's a little bit of both, right? I joke in the book that every morning a salesperson wakes up with the salesperson's question. And that question is, it's a new day. Should I prospect today or should I poke myself in the eye with a pencil? Because both hurt, right? And if I poke myself in the eye with a pencil, I get to go to the hospital. I don't have to prospect, which is even better. Cold calling is fearful. It's an attitude. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to be hung up on. I don't want to be told no. I don't want to be, and those fears are real. I mean, I experienced it when I was a salesperson. I hated cold calling and prospecting because I took it personal. What's wrong with me? I'm just trying to. So in the first part of the book, we talk about attitude. I know I can make my customers money. I know it. And all I need is 5-10 minutes to listen to what are your challenges? Here's what we do. If there's a reason to talk, let's do it. If not, no harm, no foul. So the attitude that salespeople and sales managers for their own teams has got to be, we're going to help our customers rather than we have to sell them something, which is typically what we see. And I interviewed a lot of companies for this book, and the good ones, that attitude was pervasive. They're on a mission to make their customers money in a B2B world. They're on a mission rather than we're going to go sell more, take the deals down, make our quotas. Well, those are results of doing the right stuff. So put your mission on doing the right stuff, helping your customers. You can't make somebody buy. All you can do is help them with a buy decision. So let's start with that one rather than I'm going to do the numbers. I'm going to contact 100, and of the 100, I'll get 10. Of the 10, I'll get 2, and I'll just constantly work the numbers game. Well, that's like, there's no emotion, there's no passion. And that's worth a lot in the world of outbound sales. So, we see it quite a bit, and that's where it's got to start.
So it sounds like that attitude is rooted in conviction about your solution.
Without a doubt. I mean, your customers wouldn't buy your stuff if it didn't make them money, save them time, lower their risk, however they perceive value. So it's not, here's our value prop. That's such a push. It's, guys, if you had this stuff, what would you be doing differently? Would it make you money? And that's got to be the attitude rather than I know our stuff can help you. This is a first call. You don't even know what I do. How can you be sure your stuff helps me? That's just such a bad attitude.
So what do sales managers get wrong about outbound selling and getting their team in the groove to be a high performing outbound team?
I think there's 3 things. Number one, that they look at the numbers. They got to look at the numbers and go, listen, We're only going to get so much of this much and so on. I got to get 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever it is of outbounding. And then what are the numbers we're doing every week? What are the numbers we're doing every day? What are the numbers we're doing? That they've got to have sequences and cadences down. I'll talk to a sales manager and I'll say, okay, in a 2-week window, you've got 25 people you're going after. How many touches in a 2-week window? 2, 3. No. 12 to 15 touches in a 2-week window is acceptable. And it's not harassing. It's not, stalking, using social media, creating a story as opposed to all about you and your features and benefits. There's great ways to do it. So number 1, know your numbers. Number 2, create an outbounding culture. Time and time again, Josh, we'll go into a company where there's 10 sales managers and 2 of those 10 are unbelievably making their numbers because those sales managers, first line managers, believe my job, if you want to work for me and my team, you have to really outbound. You got to know your stuff. And people are dying to be on their teams because they want to be better salespeople. If you can coach me and learn how to outbound correctly or outbound well, I want to learn that skill. So the managers who are really good at it get the best people too.
So what are the components of an outbound culture?
Number 1, vision. Without a doubt, the best managers I talked to, VPs, first line managers, second line managers, they had a vision. We're on a mission and this is our mission where we will outbound as well as inbound. And it's got to be part of our daily routine. 2, homework. They have everybody know their territory, know the titles. They don't let things like, well, I can't get the guy's email. I don't want to go over her head. They don't let these excuses weigh down the mission that they're on. And obviously, number 3, execution. People will do what's inspected rather than what's expected. You have to have the faith, trust, and confidence in your people. But at the end of the week, okay, you committed to 20. How'd you do on the 20? We've got a client, Josh, that every salesperson has a list of 25 people they go after in a 2-week window. They do 15 touches. They take that 25, put a new 25 in. Take that one, put a new 25 in. And then they rinse and repeat. Josh, they said it takes my salespeople an hour a day to do that. That's it, an hour a day. They got it down. But the results are just amazing. That's the mark of a good sales manager who makes it rinse and repeat, makes it inspected, but it doesn't get care. It's not this huge thing.
So, all right. So you have your outbound culture. Take me through the roadmap of what it takes to take a company from having sales reps that are uncomfortable with outbound selling to a high performing outbound team.
Number 1, start with your top performers. If your A players, your top performers, get on it and move it, it becomes pervasive in the culture. People will self-select in and out based upon your high performers. Number 2, reward the things that cause success. Just don't reward success. John had 5 appointments this week. Great. But let's reward the fact that John's frequencies, what I call frequencies and competencies, are at John went out and did 150 emails this week, and he had a success rate of 16%. Now, did it mean revenue? I don't know. But if you're looking at 16% open rate or whatever it may be, the results will come. So great managers manage the things that cause results to happen, not just, raise the flag and say, here's the person who actually finished first. I got it, but do all the right things up front.
And the leading indicators.
Without a doubt, rather than trailing. And finally, you hate to address it, but if you're going to fail fast. If someone doesn't want to help themselves, you committed to these things. I can't make the calls for you. What are you going to do to live up to your commitments here? Because if you're not, maybe we should find something else for you to do. I mean, no harm, no foul. But if you want to be on my, Josh, I did a management course years ago. There was 20 managers from 20 different companies. And I said, okay, how many outbound calls do you have your salespeople make in a week? We went around the room. 5, 6, 5, 3, 7, 8, 5, 42, 6, 42. Excuse me, what do you do? Guy goes, well, I work for Office Depot. Oh, you go door to door and stuff for office supplies. I got it. 6, 5, 7. Somebody stopped the meeting and said, excuse me, Mr. 42. He said, your compatriots, the people who run different managers in your company, how do their teams do? He goes, oh, they do 10, 6, 8, like you guys. He goes, well, how do you guys do 42? And everybody else in the organization does 8, 10 like us. He goes, that's simple. It's my expectation.
It starts with attitude and expectations and culture.
I think it does. I think you've seen it time and time again.
That's a great.
And people die to work for his company. They move. People, he said, move to this. He was at Pacific Northwest. They moved to Pacific Northwest as a salesperson to be on his team.
What's interesting is that I interviewed somebody recently who said, if you're a salesperson and you're having to do outbound selling, you're not getting inbound leads, then you need to quit and go find someplace that has that type of business development operation. And the premise is salespeople are happier if they have inbound leads. But what I'm hearing is it can be more stressful when you don't have control. If you are a good outbound seller, you can write your own ticket anywhere.
Without a doubt, it's a skill set that travels with you in a heartbeat. Most inbound leads, if I gave you 10 inbound leads, and let's set the stage, we think there's 2 value props. One we call below the line, one above the line. Below the line would be the user buyer, the manager, the whatever, and the above the line would be the C-suite, CROs, CMOs, whatever it may be. Of the 10 leads, all 10 are probably below the line. So now your job is to bubble up. I'll be friends with the manager and then the manager's assistant, and then we'll bubble up. And then in a month from now, we'll get maybe to the C-suite and stuff, which is great. Another tool is called Discover Descend, where you go after the C-suite who's got issues and challenges they got to fix right now. And all of a sudden, when you convince the C-suite or the above the line buyer, they're going to pick it on the phone with the BTL and say, go buy this. Let's go. We got to have it. We've seen sales cycles typically shortened by 30, 40, 50% when you attack the above the line buyer from the outbounding side and just let the inbound leads keep coming in from your below the line buyer, which is fine. But once you get that ATL, the above the line buyer who can make a decision, Josh, you'll love this. I listened to a gong call a couple of months ago, and it was a salesperson, a manager, and a salesperson, the manager, and the customer had the manager of IT and the CEO on. So they went through a discussion and stuff. 10 minutes into the gong call, the CEO goes, this is great. We got to have this right now. We got to do this. Let's go. And the salesperson goes, great. Let's set up a demo where I could show you what we do, right? I think we've lost track of how to prospect and what specifically to do and how to write good emails and how to handle objections. I think we just lost that art.
Can we recover it?
Oh, we see it time and time again. I mean, once you get past I don't want to do it. I've never had to do it before. I don't really like doing it. I didn't take the job to outbound. I took the job to inbound. Once you get past that and find people who really want to help their customers, half the time, we've seen time and time again people who just, oh, that was a terrible email. That was better. That was better. That was better. All of a sudden, within weeks, they're 50, 60% better than they were. So can we cover it in a heartbeat? But it's like going to the gym. All right, I'm going to go get healthy. I go to the gym and I'm by myself, and then I skip a day, then I skip a couple days, and I skip a week. I need a culture, and I need a boss, and I need an environment that supports that. I mean, I used to work out with a buddy all the time, and every time I wake up in the morning going, I don't want to go. Well, I don't want to let John down, so I'll go because of John. And creating that environment really creates great passion. And that's what managers can do, is create that outbounding culture, that passion, and the results. Set the bar high. Do not say we're going to be 10%. Set the bar high. You can't set it high enough.
What are the biggest challenges that managers face in creating that environment?
Belief. Kelly Wright, who was the sales VP, the senior VP up at Tableau. She was a huge fan of belief and constantly shattering beliefs. And what her best story, I think, was the 4-minute mile, where nobody thought they could break the 4-minute mile. And as soon as somebody broke it, it was broken, 5 times in the next 90 days. You got to have a belief that you're on a mission to help your customers. And if that sales manager or the management team has a belief, and it's a top-down thing, if you believe you're helping your customers, that's going to pervade through prospecting, through outbounding, through closing, through discussions, through negotiations. So belief, without a doubt, that's probably the biggest one, is having that belief. Second, metrics. If you can't measure it, why do it? So making sure that you're actually measuring the success, not the failures, the successes people have. John didn't get any new business this week, but John actually got a hold of 5 ATLs when he typically would get a hold of 1 or 2, and had meaningful discussions. Way to go, John, because I know that in a couple of weeks, that's going to end up being revenue. So let's put those metrics in place that cause revenue to happen, leading indicators versus trailing. You wanted a quick opinion? Those are the top 2 in my book.
Should sales reps have real-time access to their own metrics?
Great question.
Or is it more of a manager, I'll let you know when you're doing great?
I'm a huge fan of incremental rewards. So if I can see myself getting to first base, getting to second, getting to third, whatever else, I'll start hitting home runs. The best managers consistently focus on the positive, not the negative. And none of this Oreo cookie thing where you tell them something positive, hit it between the face, and then tell them something positive again. The best managers stay focused on the positives. And I saw a video the other day where the parents were watching the baby walk, and the baby falls down. And the parents didn't go, "Oh, bad baby." No, they said, "Come on, you could do it. You could do it." It's that same mentality. Yeah, make everything as visible. Now, I don't think Rep A should know Rep B's numbers and Rep B know Rep C's numbers. I mean, that's something kind of different. But if the manager's looking at something, the rep should know exactly what's being measured, and vice versa.
So if I'm a VP of sales or sales manager listening to this, how else can I tangibly equip my team to be successful?
Well, number one, start, right? If you don't start it, your great planning is never going to get done. I consistently see managers focus on their top performers, trying to get A's, A pluses. And once the A pluses get it, and the A's get it down, everybody wants to jump on board. So without a doubt, convince your top performers. Mary, John, I know you're going to be 100% of the year. I know it. Okay. But I think you got 20, 30% more. And if you guys get 20, 30% more with the same amount of effort, you're probably going to put another 50 grand in your pocket. If you want it, great. If not, I'm going to cut your territory. But if you want it, let's work on how we can get it. If you can challenge your A players to get to A plus, the rest of the organization starts driving.
So when you go into an organization and everybody's starting from a different place, how do you assess where somebody should start in building out this high performing outbound team?
I always interview first line managers. To me, that's like the heart and soul of the sales organization. And I want to interview your best managers. Let me interview your best. And if we can work with the best managers who go, "That's a good idea, I should get going. I just jump it." Fine. How about I give you 2 free weeks of work? I know you're going to sign up with us. I know we're going to do a contract and everything else. But before that happens, why don't we just get on this and get going here? I won't charge you a dime. Let's go. And if they take us up on it, they get a leg ahead. This is going to be a successful organization. If it's, no, let's just wait till the worst is where we're doing some work on outbounding and the managers have to sign off the Zoom call, or they go, "I got something else going on. I'll be back in an hour." You're like, this is not going to work. This is not going to work. And I've called people on it. So, get engaged, get involved, get dirty. And quite frankly, if you're a manager, make some prospecting calls yourself. Why not? Try, in the book, there's tons of great communication tools. How do you start calls? How do you end calls? How you should write an email? It's very tactical. A manager can pick this up, pick 5 accounts, and go. Strategies are great, but I'm a huge fan of tactics before strategies. Let's figure out how to use the hammer before I buy a whole home workbench.
Absolutely. And that comes back to attitude. So speaking of tactics and tools, what are some of your favorite ways to gain efficiency? And can you talk about the role of sales enablement tools and templates in this process?
Um, yes, sales enablement, his job is to enable sales. And the more they can really get engaged, and we've seen the bell curve. I've seen sales enablement people who are like so hands off, it's like, why are you there? And I've seen sales enablement folks who are so powerful that it's like, well, then why don't you go carry a bag? So there should be a good balance. Um, Templates are great, but you got to follow some rules, right? No email should be over 120 words. If you say the word I more than 3 times in an email, you're doing it wrong. So let's check and balance what's going on out there. A/B test, see what's successful. I mean, it's a live, living thing. It's not just this is the way we do it. Every time I've seen a template from a $10 million to a $10 billion company, it's just so much, which we call about the dog, which means you're talking about yourself. There's so much woofing and so much barking in these things. I mean, you have one swipe on an email. If I get an email, 70% of emails are opened up on mobile devices. If I have to do more than one swipe, I'm deleting it.
Right.
You know, so this is not the time to write a novel. So the best way to write a good email is to write it on your phone. So you don't write a novel on your laptop and then try to fit it onto a mobile device. So there's numerous things that enablement can do to help the enablement, but overall, the best strategy for sales enablement folks is to make sure that people are following their numbers. It's part of the daily routine. It's part of enabling the sales organization to bring above the line leads in rather than just report on how well Salesforce is doing.
And that's one of my favorite parts of the book is how tactical you get. I mean, you start out with the culture and the attitude, but like there's actual things you can start putting in place tomorrow. I bought this for my entire sales team earlier today.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And I'm going to, when I'm done reading, I'm going to listen to it. I think it's that practical and useful.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I try to write books that are very, I mean, I was a salesperson and stuff, and I love all the strategy stuff. But I mean, I love it when someone comes to my class with the book and it's highlighted, it's yellow marked, it's post-it noted and stuff. I mean, it's like that's somebody who's using it. And they look at you like you're an idiot. Well, why wouldn't I use it? All those tools are there. You're like, that's why I gotta write it. So I'm glad you did that. Thank you very much.
So one of the things that you talk about that got my attention, because truthfully, I come from the inbound world, and that's what got me into marketing sales in the first place. The idea of you can grow a company by focusing on helping people, and you say stop trying to help, and that got my attention because you have an interesting take on it. Can you talk about that?
Every time I see an email where it says, I would like to help you, right? I know we can help. Well, first, I didn't ask for it. And two, you haven't earned a right at the table. You don't know what I do, what my challenges, what my gaps are. So before you start thinking about how you're going to help me or how you'd like to help, I appreciate you like to helping. Why don't you come at me and don't challenge me? I mean, I'm a C-suite executive. Don't fricking sit there going, I'm going to challenge you. You know, I know more about my industry than you do. So don't fricking chat. I mean, why don't you just sit back and say, listen, we've got a lot of customers in this space. My job is to help make you money. You've got what I call trains in your train station, and they're there for a reason because you got a problem with them. Give me 5 minutes. Talk to me about, as you look at 2021, what are your initiatives? Where do you see your gaps? And if we can help, great. If hot, no harm, no foul. But I am not going to sit there and tell you I can help you because I don't even know what you do, nor how you're going to help, what your challenges are. Well, then why would they want to talk to you? Well, it's simple. Number one, they've got trains in the train station they need help with. Two, if you act like Switzerland, I'm neutral, right? I don't have a case in this. I know a few people. We've got some good stuff. My guess is you're kind of in our sweet spot from an industry standpoint, size of company, stuff, and so on. If you've got these kind of challenges, we probably should chat. If not, no harm, no foul. But don't start off with, I'd love to help you. It's so presumptuous. I didn't ask for your help. I don't want it yet. You don't even know what I do. How do you know you can help? I just get so riled with, how do you know you can help me if you don't even know what I do? So come at with problem solving. Come at it being neutral. Come at it being like an investigative reporter. Don't come at prospecting with, I got something you could use. That's so presumptuous. That's going to come through to your customer, and that's going to come across as arrogance. And that's not really where you want to have a good first step.
I think the way that you frame that is really helpful. It puts it in a really practical perspective. So I want to wrap up this conversation with this question. It has to do with when you're in front of a room, because you do speak on this quite a bit. When you're in front of a room of CEOs or chief revenue officers or VPs of sales, what do you wish that they would stop doing right away? What do you want to tell them? All right, everybody, right now, write this down. Stop doing this. And what would you like them to start doing the next morning when they get into the office?
CEOs?
CEOs, chief revenue officers.
Yeah, the above the line buyers.
Exactly.
That's a great question. Number one, understand that salespeople who are on a mission are good. Don't treat all salespeople like they're bad or that they're trying to peddle something or vend something. Put a dollar, get a Coke on vending. Number two, have one or two upfront questions. All right. If I'm talking to a salesperson or a prospecting organization, fine. I'll give you 30 seconds. I'll give you 45 seconds. Here's my issue. And if they sit back and go, great, how's that affecting this? How's that affecting that? Engage them in conversation. If all of a sudden they start flipping the switch going, that's exactly what we can do, that I'd get off the phone. 10 to 20, 30% of these people who are good are going to get through, give them the time of day. I mean, I'm sorry that 60% or 50% of prospectors, outbounders suck. I'm sorry. But the ones who are good, give them a chance. Let's not get really, a hard edge to it, because they can save your business. They can help your business. They can help make you money. Stop losing so much money. And you could do it a lot faster than having things bubble up. So see above the line buyers, have one or two questions right up front. And if they're any good, you'll know it really quickly.
I think that's a great point to end on this conversation on. So the book is Outbounding. It actually drops today when this podcast is released. And Skip, where can people get the book? Where can they find you online? Where can they continue this conversation with you?
Amazon's the best place, obviously. Great place to get books there. If you want to buy them in bulk, 5 or 10 more, send me an email, skip@m3learning.com. I'll have Stephanie ship them out to you. I'll sign some so you can get some signed books and stuff. And my mom and my kids love that I can autograph books. The rest of you, if it makes sense, I'd be happy to do that. And then, just go with it. But guys, it's available on Kindle. It's available auditory. It's available a whole bunch of ways. It's just another take on outbounding, but it's one of the freshest ones I've seen, especially given all the restrictions we have and how to balance inbound, outbound leads. So, I mean, I kind of thought it was the right book at the right time.
I really appreciate what you put into writing it, and we'll definitely spread the word.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks for having us.
All right. And that does it for another episode of the Modern Sales Management Podcast. Have a great day.